Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. Bong. Well, we finally got through the S's. We're well into the R's. I'm so excited. I mean, it really means we're making progress. When you get past the S's, that's like, half of the universe of classical music. And we are working on this chunk of Albert Roussel, one of the great French composers, perhaps the great French composer from the first half of the 20th century. Well, no, Debussy and Ravel were there too, weren't they? But I mean, the latter bit of the first half of the 20th century. Anyway, he was a great composer, one way or another. Really so much better than his reputation today seems to warrant. I mean, he gets recorded, but does he get played? Well, sometimes. I mean, rarely, it seems to me. Oh, it's such good music. Wow, is it good music. And it's a thrill that I was able to collect all of this stuff when it was available and hang on to it, for posterity. It can be buried with me or something, who knows. But he wrote a lot of terrific music. 4 wonderful symphonies, 3 terrific ballets, lots of other stuff, orchestral, chamber, choral, theatrical, you name it. Good guy, really good guy. So we're going to go through this pile. I mean, Roussel's actually going to be like a pile and 7/8 of another pile, because his output was pretty varied. It wasn't crazy huge, but he wrote things very pithily. Most of what he wrote is really rather short. Symphonies, 25 minutes, things like that. So we begin with the Czech Nonet and guests on Praga, doing Le Marchand de Sable qui Passe, incidental music, and the Serenade for flute, harp, violin, viola, and cello, which is a masterpiece. A screaming masterpiece is Divertissement for wind quintet, and the trio for flute, viola, and cello. I mean, these are wonderful works. There's more stuff on here than that, but I mean, that's okay. The impromptu for harp and the duo for bassoon and double bass. That's it. Really a wonderful collection. My goodness, it's just terrific. I'm so glad I got that one. Oh, look at this. Sibelia. Remember Sibelia? Some of these labels. Oh my God. This was like a big deal. This is Leif Segerstab, actually, with the Staatsphilharmonie Rhineland-Pfalz and the Staatsorchestra Rheinische Philharmonie. And you get his tone poem, Resurrection, yes. The Rhapsody Flamande, the late work, which is the Flemish Rhapsody. The conductor there is Pierre Stoll. And then for his first symphony, the Poem of the Forest, the Poème de la Forêt. That's with Segerstab. When this came out on Sibelia, which it did in what century? Do we have a date? 91 was it? Yeah, it seems to be something around there. Was it? I thought it was earlier. But anyway, when this came out, 91, none of this stuff was available. None of it. I mean, it really wasn't. I mean, this was like a big deal, and they're good performances. They're well recorded, and kind of primitive label. But what the heck? They got their paws on it. Then we've got this thing on EMI as part of their French, les spirit français, the French spirit. You've got the Roussel Piano Concerto, which is absolutely hopeless. It's 15 minutes long and 3 movements, and the whole first movement, it sounds like you're pounding on the lowest bottom end of the keyboard. It's a strange work. It really is. And his Cello Concerto, which is also rather pithy. It's, let's see, 12 minutes long. And the tone poem, Pour une fête de printemps, which is lovely. It's wonderful for a spring festival. And the Suite en Fa, which is delicious, a masterpiece. I mean, it's really kind of amazing that you wrote all this stuff, but these are unperformable. They're unprogrammable. I mean, they're not unperformable. You can play them, but you can't program them, because who wants to hear a 15-minute piano concerto or a 12-minute cello concerto? I mean, you'd have to do something actually creative and interesting to bring this music to public attention, and no one's going to do that. So they record them, and then, no one pays any attention that way. And so we have, let's see, the Orchestre de Paris under Jean-Pierre Jacquillat from 1969. Yeah, at least they got it on disc. Oh, here's a wonderful collection of cool stuff, really cool stuff. This is one of those Warner Ultima duos, and it's got The Spider's Feast with Martinon. Yeah! the Sinfonietta for String Orchestra with Jean-Francois Paillard, Bacchus and Ariane with Charles Dutoit. Wish that they had used Martineau, it's better. Pour une fête de printemps, the symphonic poem again, and the Petite Suite with Jean Martineau, the suite in F, and Aeneas, again, all with Jean Martineau. This is great. Aeneas is his last ballet. It's a ballet with chorus. Very austere and rugged piece of music. Really just, oh, it's great stuff. I grabbed it because I could. And this one, oh, let's see. The Spider's Feast, the Petite Suite, and the Concerto for Small Orchestra with the Gulbenkian Foundation Orchestra under Michel Sverchevsky on, oh, what is this? Oh, accord. Universal accord. Universal, you know, that accord. CD accord, okay. I mean, to get your Roussel back in the day, you had to really look at strange labels and things like that. This one is a Musical Heritage Society release of the French Spirit thing, where you have the Bacchus and Ariane, the complete ballet with Pretre and the Orchestre National de France. So Pretre was such an on-again, off-again conductor, and the sonics were never great in those recordings. And the Spider's Feast Suite, the symphonic fragments. So that's fun to have. Then we have another one of those universal accord things here. It's Bacchus and Ariane, Suite number 2, and the Piano Concerto. These are under Charles Munch. Oh yeah, the Orchestre Nationale de la RTF. Wow, baby. And Henri Barrault, let me see, Symphony number 3, which is a rarely heard work, if ever there was one, and it's a good one too. It's also with the Orchestra dei Cento Soli, Serge Baudo conducting, but they don't tell you who's doing which. It really doesn't make that much difference, to be honest, but this is the Collection Musique Française. And yeah, so that was worth keeping. It's amazing. I mean, back in the day, you know, I would like get anything by Roussel that I could get my hands on because you just couldn't get your hands on so much. Looks like there was more than I remembered. Oh, look at this. This is an odd thing. This is Carlton Classics from BBC Radio Classics, or whatever that is. It's Carlton and BBC and whatever. It's the Roussel Third Symphony. That's the point. With the BBC Northern Symphony Orchestra under Raymond Leppard, and also Debussy's Image, and you also get the Fauré Ballade for piano and orchestra with Malcolm Binns. All of that stuff is on one handy-dandy disc. Was this BBC Radio Classics? It may have been like a IMP. I don't know where this stuff came from. My God. Unbelievable. Now, you may recall when Yarby was in Detroit, he did all kinds of interesting stuff for Chandos, including Roussel's Third and Fourth Symphonies, the Bacchus and Ariane Suite number 2, and the Sinfonietta for Strings. That's pretty hot. That's a lot. Are these great recordings of the symphonies? No, not really. I mean, Yarby was, you know, could be very, what's the word? Sort of rough and ready, you know, drop the baton and let it go, dump it up and up and up and up and up. You know, he didn't pay that much attention along the way. Or he could be just marvelous. It depended on the work. It really did. So the Bacchus is the best thing on here. That's a very good performance. But the two symphonies have been done better by others, frankly. But I didn't care. It was Roussel and keeping them. They're not bad. I mean, not by any stretch of the imagination. And here's Sibelia again. Oh, wow. Sibelia. We've got the Petite Suite, the Concertino for cello and orchestra, the Concert pour Petit Orchestre, the Sinfonietta for strings, and the Overture to Aunt Caroline's Will, Le Testament de la Tante Caroline. The Overture, which is 3 minutes and 52 bubbly little seconds. Actually, the complete opera's been recorded now. I reviewed it over at classicstoday.com, I think, or for this channel, or somewhere like that. And this is with the Ensemble Instrumental de Flandre-Wallonne under Bruno Mombry. Oh boy, talk about obscure. More obscureness. This is Forlon. Remember Forlon? Forlon had limited discography of interesting things, including like a Tarangallela symphony that was just terrible, and some other goodies. And here we've got the Orchestre de Bordeaux Aquitaine under Roberto Benzi, who's really a good conductor. I mean, he was, and he's doing the Bacchus and Ariane Second Suite and Symphony number 3. These are hot performances, believe it or not. The orchestra is kind of, you know, second tier, let's put it that way. And the sonics are like, set up the microphones and let's see what happens. This particular hall had amazing bass resonance. The end of Bacchus and Ariane has never been equaled for just like amplitude. You know, when at the very end, da 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 bum bum bum. There's a blum 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 with a bass drum going walk walk. It's amazing sounding, really amazing. And you know, the rest of it, well, it's exciting. And they're just exciting performances by a guy who really knows how to play the music. And an orchestra that's doing its best, and you know, it really is sort of a one-off exciting thing. Then we've got the Cuitaz Roussel stuff. Oh, this is the same disc twice. Aren't I happy that I have the same disc twice? Because all this stuff is in the Cuitaz box. So it's all irrelevant, but I got it twice because, well, it was Roussel. And we have Symphony No. 3, Symphony No. 4, the Bacchus and Ariane Suite No. 2, and the Sinfonietta for String Orchestra with the Paris Conservatoire Orchestra. Yay! And this is a stereo. Are they stereo? Yeah, they're stereo. Yeah, it was at the end of Cuitaz's career at the Paris Conservatory. So there we go. And then we've got this thing. Roussel Concertos for Orchestra. Good Lord, what label is this? I can't even tell. Oh, it's Naive. Naive Valois, VT Sastre, whatever the hell that thing is again. And it's got, oh God. You're supposed to read this. Here, I got to show you. This is how they do what's on the disc. See, like the little tiny wording around here? That's the stuff. So I have to do it this way. Concerto for piano and orchestra, concerto for small orchestra, concertino for cello and orchestra, and the petite suite for orchestra. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. And finally, his big opera ballet thing, Padmavati, the only recording of this, with Marilyn Horne and Nikolai Gedda and Joseph Van Dam and Jane Berbier, and oh, it's just wonderful people, with Plassans and the Orchestre du Capitole de Toulouse. I mean, this is a really cool work, full of slithery chromatic harmony and that kind of stuff, and yeah. And Marilyn Horne was really a trooper. Let me tell you, she learned this. I have 2 of these, believe it or not. We'll get to the next one in the next video. So that's Roussel. Wow, kind of cool, huh? Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.